have these critical moments to make real change that will stop the madness that you saw so well portrayed in this documentary, and help us usher in the clean energy revolution we so desperately need. Yeah. So without further ado, let me introduce the panelists.
This message has got to get out. The majority of the people in this country don't understand what's going on, and they are lied to by their elected leaders and by the industry. I'm struck by how ubiquitous this problem is when I compare it to what I've been part of a fight in New York State to stop a 650 megawatt power plant built by CPV, which is the real reason that DIMIC has to provide 150 new wells every year. It's the first of many, 300 planned across the country under Obama's Clean Air Act. It's interesting that in that case it was our Governor Cuomo, whose right-hand man, almost brother, was convicted, his name is Pakucko, of bribing officials of the DEC and other regulatory agencies. And you have here in California, Governor Brown not responding to this as he should have done, and in following up what needs to be done so that this doesn't happen again, because his sister is on the company that owns Southern SoCal. But we're not alone. The indigenous people in Canada are fighting this. The people in Nebraska are fighting the pipelines. All over this country, the same thing has happened. What we have to recognize is the intersectionality of this issue with all the other issues that beset us, which are too numerous to go through, but you know what's happening in this country. What does concern me is we're here and we're a generation of people, some older, some younger, but this is mostly going to affect our children. This is not going to get better, it's going to get worse, especially under this person in the White House. And it's going to destroy the possibility of life, sentient life on this planet. It's going to condemn our children to a hell on earth as they deal with the ramifications of climate change and all the attendant famine, migrations of mass numbers of peoples across borders. Why aren't they here? Where are they? Do they know what's happening? Are they thinking that they're going to get away with not voting again for whatever cockamamie reason they come up with, and we get the same administration back again doing the same thing? That is sort of should be our mission. Our mission should be to engage the young, because believe me, they can make a difference.
This is not like about Porter Ranch or Dimmick or 8 Mile. This is happening all over the country. And it's going to happen in the rest of the country. It's a matter of time and how bad and who, till this affects like even more and more people. Yeah, so I really uphanded the hope for getting a serious documentary out there about this. I've seen it a few times and I'm still, amazed by it. So hopefully other people will be as well. And we have to wake people up. I mean, and it is really hard. I'm really kind of blown away by the apathy just in LA because of this. This happened right here in Los freaking Angeles, the media capital of the planet, and it hardly got any exposure. And people aren't like fighting mad about it. So it's really up to us that live through this and experience this and know about these things to really get the word out there and get people to know what can so easily happen to them. Now, you may have heard that the LA firefighters now suing SoCal Gas. 44,000 people are suing them. We're darn clear that there's a big cover-up between the health department, board of supervisors, Garcetti, mayor's office, the state, that they're trying to really downplay this thing. But for them, all these lawsuits and the leaks and health problems, that's pretty minor compared to if they were to admit, I've been saying this since right after BLOWOUT, if they were to admit that there's a contamination problem in the North Valley coming from this facility, they'd have way bigger, it would be an economic disaster to Los Angeles for them to admit that. So all these other things are really minor, and that's why they're sweeping it under the rug. How do we tie these all together, like Montebello and South LA, Torrance Refinery, all these? One thing that St. Porter Ranch, we've been discussed a few times, is there is a, now each of those communities wants to solve the problem in their community, obviously, but we all have the common denominator that is our regulators, our regulations and our laws. If we all, there's a lot of people that are parts of different organizations here, if we all start looking at hooking together our small number here, small number there, small number there into one big number going after specifically targeting regulators and laws, then it becomes a much bigger force of people than these small communities each dealing with their own issues.
This is a closed loop system planet. So what I put in the air in Pennsylvania comes to you eventually. There is no wall between your town and their town that stops the air from going from here to there. There's no invisible wall. It doesn't exist. And there is no planet B. We have planet A. So, you know, we all need to get into this onto it and start paying attention. They're trying to shut me up. They're going after my friends and anybody I have done anything with. You know, who flew me here? Who flew me there? Who set me up to talk? It's none of your damn business. And I will not throw my people under the bus. We're all in this fight together. There's no, you know, D or R in front of the names. The color of your skin, the religion, it doesn't matter. This is about we the people, and we need to stand up and fight and push this film and everything else. I met Hope 4 years ago when we started this, when she came to Dimmick. I believed in her, and I still believe in everything she's done with this film. I think it's the best thing I've seen so far, and I've been in Gasland too, and Drill Baby Drill and several other films. And this is one of the best ones that's really showing the harm of what happened to we, the people. And this is what we, the people, need to understand, and we need to fight. And I've been with this fight with Hope, Jamie. I mean, we have been fighting this stuff in New York, Pennsylvania, frac power plants that are going in all through the community. I got 80 wells being drilled around my house right now. I have over 200 trucks a day going past my house 24 hours around the clock. It has not stopped. The East Coast is a disaster. The West Coast is a disaster. Several years ago, well, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, whatever the heck was, I can't remember now, I'd have to ask Greg. But we were out here, we had a private meeting at the Capitol here, and we had a meeting with all the executives of Brownsville administration here. And in that meeting, I had your head of oil and gas guy kept elbowing me. They didn't turn around and tell me that. They didn't turn around and tell me that. They didn't turn around and tell me that. So, I mean, your officials don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're just going by the spreadsheet that's given from the industry, which is all a lie. We need to fight.
And after touring the nation for more than 4 years now, I've been all over the country, the pattern is always the same. I've never seen a pollution event where the operator who did it came out honestly, said what they did, and fixed the problem and, you know, made sure people were taken care of. I've never seen that. This is all they do. And so I think, you know, when it comes down to it with all of us, we have this understanding of who we are and where we live. And it goes like this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, and now we get it, women too, are created equal by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So that's the bedrock of our soul, right? That's the country. That's who we have been for so many hundreds of years, but even more evolving towards that. But instead of evolving towards that, in this case, we have necessary sacrifices. And that's what the gas and oil industry says that Ray Kemble is. He's a necessary sacrifice. The children, the child or the people that may, you know, get cancer. And I myself was diagnosed with cancer last year, which I think is related to this research, personally. Those are necessary. Max Chilson. I mean, Max Chilson is the most darling person. He had they gave him 5-gallon jugs of water so he could make baths. He's supposed to lift that up and, okay, I'm gonna go on too long, huh? But, you know, companies saying that Americans we can ruin your life so that we can make better profits. That is not what this country is about. And I think when people know, you know, the way they keep this going is they keep it quiet. As long as nobody knows what's really going on, they can kind of keep it going. So that's what I'm really hoping, that we can take that power away from them. Because once Americans know what's going on with your neighbors, we won't put up with that. That's not this country. That's not what we're here for. We're here for each other. We're a community. That's the kind of country that we are. So I have a lot of optimism that we will move farther down that road as we join together and use our voices to make sure that these people's stories are told.
Wow, that's a tall order. I would say the things that I take away just really briefly is that accountability. Accountability is huge to keep us in check, because as we know, there's numerous people who do not walk the path they're supposed to walk. So all of the regulators that are really not accountable, we seem to have evolved in our society over time, and we talk about public servants. I don't see anybody serving the people. I see just a bunch of dictators that dictate to you. I mean, how can you not give water to human beings? I mean, it's just amazing to me, and it's just very impressive, which pisses me off and makes me want to sit down and fight. So those are the basic things I'll take away.
Filipinos, and we live in Los Angeles, there's no shortage of campaigns, fights that we can get involved in. You all are witness to the largest gas blowout in U.S. history, and you all, I know I've seen you on the front line fighting in that fight the last 3 years. But we also have to fight these gas plants, right, that DWP wants to build. We're waging a campaign with a coalition of LA community groups starting in South LA to end neighborhood drilling. We're waging a campaign to get the city to finally wake up and go 100% renewable energy. We're organizing in Playa del Rey around that gas storage facility over there. So please join us. And luckily, I'm so happy to work at an organization where we have the resources to kind of branch out and support communities all over Los Angeles, all over California. And what this film reminds me of is we're one small corner of the world that's fighting that, and we are one small piece of the movement that is building. And we have a responsibility to make sure that we build it out as robustly and as strong as we can here in Los Angeles. So I look forward to doing that with all of you.
Amazing. You know, just start spreading the word. That's right, start with our neighbors. And huge thanks to Food and Water Watch.
Let's take this party outside. Woo!